it's like when new strategies come into play and you see something and you're like, oh, they're doing this. I keep seeing like people implementing this on TikTok or Instagram or using this platform, and you're not going to have a clue. So the first thing you're going to do is go to someone that does, either learn from them or pay for their expertise.
Exactly.
Basically.
And people are probably thinking, well, how's employing all these people going to save me money? Well, it's more so the fact that, right, and I keep going on about your time versus money. Yes, I might be able to run Facebook ads for my business. However, I know Anthony will get me results 10 times quicker, which will then bring me in even more money, so that then I can then concentrate on B2B as an example, to then concentrate and tunnel my vision into that.
So that is a lot about like where you are moving forward, even if it's like 1%, like you were saying earlier, but that's at the beginning, like whether it is something like weight loss or whether it is business, it can feel like you're not making progression because you can't see it. But if you're doing 1% every day, like how much further are you going to be in 3 months, in 6 months, in a year? So it's having like them long-term goals, but like you say, but doing something every day to get towards that.
There's so many ups and downs with business. Do not just go for the money alone. Just think, because I see it time and time again, Alex, what's going to make me the most money? You're looking at it the wrong way. You find something, like you said there, you either have a passion for, whether you know it inside out, whether you like it, you enjoy that, it's a hobby, whatever it is. Don't worry about the saturation of the market. There's always ways around that. If you enjoy something, you're always going to put more time and effort into it. And I had this with the travel business. If I would have known, and naivety is also a very good thing in business at the start, because it will carry you quite far. If I would have known in Bali, earthquakes, tsunamis, every sort of natural disaster, volcanoes could happen. Time difference, monkeys biting people. If I'd have known this before, I wouldn't have started. But because I was passionate about travel, because I was, so like concentrated and focused on, this is going to work. Because the first 6 months, it didn't work. Even the first few tours didn't necessarily work. However, because I was so passionate about it, and you knew, whether it's rebranding, whether it's trialing different marketing methods, whether it's, utilizing different agencies, whatever that route is. If you're passionate about what you do, you're going to keep pushing and pushing.
So we're in beautiful sunny Spain right now. It's amazing to get all of you on this podcast to have a chat about a few things. So let's get into it.
Cool. I'll start. So one thing that is really important and is often really looked over is everyone concentrates on making money for their business, but it's just as important to save money for your business to then propel you moving forward. And I think it's something that is really overlooked, and it's something that if you look into your business, whether it's online or, people doing their 9-to-5 business, the amount of savings you can make, which is obviously going to propel you in other ways, it's key. So you can look at anything from staffing, if you can then outsource any idea. I'm not saying get rid of your staff or anything, but there's things you can do from that aspect. And even costs when it comes to investing in certain areas, technology these days. There's so much you can do in terms of saving money that will then help you going forward.
It's easy, like when you've got, say, X amount to put into your business, you can also become lazy because you're like, I'll just get my content done like this, I'll do that, or I'll pay someone to do this. But like you said, in your early stages, it is really important to really think about, what do I need to invest in? What don't I know what to do? What don't I have time to learn to do? And then investing in that, and then trying to do like the rest on your own, basically.
That's like one of my favorite things when I first started, because you try and learn everything to do yourself. You think that's the best way to save money because, I'm doing it all, but you can't physically have enough time to do everything yourself as well. So investing into people that know how to do that better than me, you're spending money there, but you're actually then can focus your time on what you're really good at and looking at other ways that you can do, like save costs in your business, especially when you're starting out.
100%.
I can remember like years ago, really early into my stages of business, and I bought a a Facebook ad course, and I was like, no, I'm gonna do it because I like it's in the cost for agencies, and I was just like, that needs to be going into other things. So I woke up every day at like 4:30, up at 5 to do this course. I literally got ill. I've told people this, I literally got ill because like mentally, physically, I just was working late at night, getting up early. And by the end of it, I was just more confused. And then it was like having an impact on my business because I then wasn't switched on, ready to go for like when I needed to, or put my time into things. Because I was heavily involved in like the content creation, logistics of getting my packages out at the time. So then that ruined my system that I had there. So actually investing the money in the social ad company would have been a good investment instead of me like, actually, I'll pay into my business to do this and that I'm already doing. I've saved my time and effort into Facebook ads that I'm just no good at.
Yeah, so one of the best analogies I've heard is what you're doing now, is it going to make the boat go faster?
Yeah.
So the workload you're putting on yourself, okay, are you going to be slowed down by it? Or is it going to are you going to, as I said before, the propelled part, is it going to make you go further? So time versus money. Like you said, you could learn the course, you could do X, Y, Z, and it's what founders are quite guilty of, is trying to do it for themselves.
Yeah.
But is it actually going to help you get further? Or time versus money, like I just said, is, well, if you can outsource that part that might take you 6 hours, yeah, you might be able to do it.
Yeah.
But it might take you 6 hours. Well, that time might be best served making money in areas you're good at.
Yeah.
So it's concentrate what you're good at, outsource or leverage or collab, whatever way you want to do it, at the stuff you're not good at. And this is what the best entrepreneurs say. And Elon Musk says, I never went to university. I didn't go to Harvard, but all his employees did.
Yeah.
And it's not to poo-poo on the Harvard people. It's to say, look, he's not he can identify what he's weak at, and whether it's outsourcing, whether it's using and leveraging time in different areas, what you're not good at to people who are best at, and you're going to get further quicker. It's just a no-brainer.
I think one thing as well, like a lot of people are so focused on making money in a business when actually saving money is technically going to make you more money as well. Like I've seen so many businesses out there where there's so many different angles where they can save money, but they're so focused on making money. And it's like, well, if you just take a step back and just look at what you can save, like your profits are going to be so much higher. Therefore, you're making more money in that sense.
100%.
And like what you're saying with like, being able to identify weak points, it's not a bad thing. If anything, it's probably one of the best things you can do in business.
100%.
Like if you're, not too clued up on the advertising side of things, there's people out there that do it day in, day out, all day. So like, why don't you outsource that to them, get them to focus on that? And like what you're saying, with that extra time you now have, focus in somewhere in a different area where you're good at business, so you can then grow, scale, make more money.
I think people in their early stages in business as well do get quite caught up. Like, I need to know how to do that. They like, what if you can't do it? But the fact of the matter is, there's always going to be someone else that can
100%.
do it to a high standard. So you don't have to worry about that. If one agency can't do it, I'll find another one or whatever. So you don't have to worry that you do need to know. Obviously, it's helpful to know the basics. But I think it's important not to be like, I need to know everything. It will just waste your time, and the process is going to take so long that on a mindset point of view, it can be discouraging to be like, I'm not getting anywhere.
It's the working smarter, not necessarily harder. Just because I think it's come from like all the YouTube videos and the books. You need to be putting 23 hours and 59 minutes into your business a day. That's not going to help.
And have a mental breakdown.
And everything like that. Just because you're putting in time doesn't mean you're getting any further. You could be putting all your time in the wrong places. A lot of I don't keep going back to it. The biggest or some of the best entrepreneurs, all they are is middlemen. All they are is middlemen. They're very good at understanding little bits about everything, but not clued up in terms of
getting the right people.
Exactly. They know enough to understand certain things, like, I don't know, SEO, but they're not SEO specialists. They'll hire someone or utilize an agency or whatever it is. And
it's like when new strategies come into play and you see something and you're like, oh, they're doing this. I keep seeing like people implementing this on TikTok or Instagram or using this platform, and you're not going to have a clue. So the first thing you're going to do is go to someone that does, either learn from them or pay for their expertise.
Exactly.
Basically.
And people are probably thinking, well, how's employing all these people going to save me money? Well, it's more so the fact that, right, and I keep going on about your time versus money. Yes, I might be able to run Facebook ads for my business. However, I know Anthony will get me results 10 times quicker, which will then bring me in even more money so that then I can then concentrate on B2B as an example, to then concentrate and tunnel my vision into that. That will make the boat go quicker. Me trying to me trying to do everything and stay up till stupid clock at night trying to do everything might get me a little bit further, or I might save myself £100 this month.
Yeah.
But is that actually beneficial? Probably not.
And also, which I think is really, really important, is having a plan, not waking up being like, right, I need to do this, I need to do that. You're all kind of muffled with what you need to do. And then before you know it, days have gone and you haven't really progressed. Like you need to have a clear strategy and what you're doing, what steps you need to do before you can do the next step. Which I think is really
you can almost bring that into everyday life as well.
Yeah.
1% every day.
Yeah.
You can improve by 1% every day. I'm not going to go into the maths, but it's like it's like 35% over a year or something like that. Yeah, 36%. I'm not going to embarrass myself, but it's like it's no different from your, I don't know, the gym or at home life with your kids or whatever it is. You can improve by 1%. Just do something extra, or like you said there, goal setting. Just make sure. And I've got a good tip for everyone here: is challenge and do the biggest task first.
Yeah.
Because I think it's from a
Eat That Frog.
That's it. Yeah,
that's good.
And I think it's all to do with if you do the biggest challenge. So you got your to-do list, and you do the biggest task on that, whatever it is, the one you've been putting off, the one you're avoiding, the one you just think, oh, not today. Do that first, because then the sense of achievement from that, it's going to be a downhill slope from there. So everything else within that to-do list is going to be achievable. Or you think, I don't mind doing this now. You're in a rhythm now.
Yeah.
So that's what I will say, is try and prioritize, and definitely to-do lists. I love to-do lists. I don't know if you've got anything that you think helps you getting things done.
So you probably laugh at this, but my organization flow is just sticky notes, and they're all over my laptop.
I did notice that when you were big sticky notes.
I found it works for me though. Like, everyone's going to have a different way of how things work and stuff, but like I'm at my laptop quite a bit, so anything that pops into my mind that I need to focus on this or do, or anything that I need to like catch up on, I write it down, I stick it there. It's always in front of me to do. So I find that works good for me. Before I used to use things like reminders, but sometimes like my phone's somewhere else and I'm at my laptop, so I end up forgetting. So for me, that works great. I know some people out there like to work on more of a professional basis, but works for me. How does it work for you?
I have to write things down and it sticks in my brain. Like, I'll be on my laptop or on my phone and I'll have an idea, but I won't write it in notes on my phone or on the laptop. I have to write it in a notebook.
I'm a notepad and pen person.
I'm literally put like a little circle so I can tick it off and like just doing that little tick, you feel that sense of achievement, like what you were talking about. So that is how I do everything. And like I look at the notebook at the end of the day and then I'm like, oh, I've got all these ticks. I've done so much today, and like feel good. And then I'm more motivated to continue doing stuff. I think when you haven't written it down, well, for me personally, when I haven't written it down, I'll just be like, this is on my mind, this is on my mind. And I'm procrastinating. I don't get anything done. So that works best for me. Like
notepad and pen definitely works for me. But other things like CRM system. Now, a CRM system doesn't have to be a paid CRM system. And for anyone who doesn't know what that is, it's basically a software, and you can get free versions of this as well. So like I said there, save money. You don't have to get expensive ones. It's there to help you and aid you. So for example, from a B2B capacity, if you've sent out 10 samples in a week, you can then track everything you're doing so that you know come Monday, okay, I sent 5 samples out on a Thursday. Well, I know Monday I'm going to do follow-up emails. And you can track every single thing in terms of reminders, who you sent things to, pipeline. So what pipeline is from a sales process is, right, you've got Joe Blogs who's declared interest in your product. Well, where are they from? Not a member or not a sale to closed sale or paid, and it's tracking that person all that time, and it's keeping track of everything, and being, like I said earlier, about, you know, is it going to make you go further? Well, yeah, if you can keep track of everything you're doing, you don't actually have to do a computerized CRM system. You do it on notepad and pen, write it down where everything is. Like you see people with spreadsheets. It's just making sure that you know exactly what's going on at all times.
That's
and
so much more professional as well, from like if you were doing B2B, for example, and you're speaking to several different people, the last thing you want to do is when you're potentially going to close a sale with them
100%.
to be like, oh, I can't remember what our last conversation was. Like, you need to know where you are. Like, you come across a lot more professional.
If an owner of a business called you up and said, "Look, Alex, I've received your samples on Friday. It's Monday now," and you think, "Oh, I've been out on the weekend. You know how life gets in the way. It could be anything." Monday morning, "Oh, who's this person again?" Well, if you've got it written down or a CRM system, let me quickly do this. Notes, sent sample out Thursday. They said they'll get back on Monday. They were looking at such and such list, and you know exactly. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. No, how did you find it? Did it work for your problem?
And
Solutions to the
it
problem.
also alleviates like stress
100%.
as well, because like when I've got everything written down or it's in the CRM system and I don't have to remember, it's like it's a mental release off my head.
It's like taking it out of your head and putting it there.
Yeah, because then it's like, right, I know I need to do this. Might be something personal, might be business related. But then I don't have to worry because it's like it's all where I need it to be. Then when I need to pick up, I'll go there. It's all there. It's not in my head.
I think one of the worst things is when you forget stuff. You know you've got something important to do, and it's like, oh, what is it? What is it? But like, I think like just being organised one way or another, just having everything there, like what you said, it's a stress gone. And most of the time, you're 99% going to get that done.
I think everyone can be, or not everyone. I know I've had it in the past. You can be overwhelmed with everything you've got to do that you end up don't doing anything because you've got really such a list. You're really good at that. But that's why if you write things down, clear set goals, right, and not just daily goals, but daily goals, weekly goals, monthly goals. Reverse engineer it. Right, where do you want to be? Well, I want to close 5 sales. All right, how do I get there? Okay, well, I need to send, as an example, 100 emails out a week. Okay, well, how do I do that? Well, I know I need to send 25 a day. Okay, how do I do that? Well, I need email. I need a template. How do I do that? And just reverse engineer everything. And like I said, it'll make you go further.
And I think as well, just prepping yourself in the early stages, you are going to be more than likely doing a lot more than what you will be in the back end of your business. So just mentally preparing yourself for that as well.
I think goal settings applies to a lot of what we spoke about. Like when we first started, one of the things that I used to do is like have the 12-month goal. Then I used to break that down to 6 months, and then within the 6 months you have like 3 months. Then that 3-month gap would be every month broken down to every week to every day, all the way down to like daily tasks, what you need to do. So that way, like, you're on track, you can see what needs to be done. Then once you complete those 3 months, you can then move on to the next 3 months. So once again, that keeps that workflow going.
I think it's good that you put in like your daily tasks to how you're going to get there.
Exactly.
Because I think an error that I see is people like, oh, I want to be here, I want to be there. Like it's almost like a dream list. Like, but it's like, you know, you've got to implement strategies on how you're going to.
I've had it quite a few times. I've had people come up to me and say, like, I want multiple B2B deals by Christmas.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. How are you going to get there? Well, send some emails. You haven't got a product yet. So you need to work backwards. You need to write. Yeah, no, it's good to have goals, 100%. You need to have goals that scare you sometimes.
Yeah.
Because you don't want everything achievable. But I think it's a very good synergy between health and fitness and business. Lose 1 kilogram first before you lose 4 stone, as an example. But celebrate the small wins because you'll get there quicker. You celebrate the small wins. Like, it might literally be saying, I sent my first 50 emails today. Perfect. That's going to get you quicker than just looking at end goal. I need deals. Because then you can also be overwhelmed. Like, oh, I need these deals, but I don't know how to get these deals. Well, you don't get these deals by just talking about the deals. You need to send emails to get to these deals. So, yeah.
Have you read the book Atomic Habit?
I have, yeah.
Yeah. So that is a lot about like where you are moving forward, even if it's like 1%, like you were saying earlier. But that's at the beginning, like whether it is something like weight loss or whether it is business, it can feel like you're not making progression because you can't see it. But if you're doing 1% every day, like how much further are you going to be in 3 months, in 6 months, in a year? So it's having like them long-term goals, but like you say, but doing something every day to get towards that.
I actually, before I went to bed last night, I was just scrolling through, it was either YouTube or something like that. And it was one of them motivational things. I don't usually take much notice of it, but it was like, used to be an alcoholic. I'm now such and such time clean, but I really want to drink again. And the bloke was just like, just one more day. Just one more day. And then that day comes. It's all right, just one more day.
Yeah,
not 6 months, not you need to get to this point, just one more day.
Yeah.
And it's the same with business. Like, I know things can get overwhelming and stuff like that, but just try one more day. Don't give up. Just one more day. Just send more emails. Just 10 more emails. Run that Facebook ad one more day. Oh, just had a result. And I can go back to my travel business. When I set that up initially, 2016, Facebook was notoriously quite good back then, and it still is. But for the travel business, it was really good. And it was like, right, we set it up in May. We didn't get our first sale till January. We're running ads. We're doing, and this is where I done everything. I thought myself, I was running. We actually hired 2 agencies before. Didn't do the best, so we didn't give up though. We didn't say, oh, that's it. Just one more day. Just give it another go. And then we got our first sale. It was, I remember where I was, 30th of December. We were in a Thai restaurant in Richmond. That's why we always know where you can go. Someone just paid a deposit, £300 to go on a £1,500 trip to Bali. And I was absolutely buzzing. Oh, it's working. It actually does work after all that time. But it's literally just that one more day, guys. Just don't give up.
Yeah.
That's what it takes. But take it day by day. Still have them set goals, but one more day.
That's the thing. There's not like, you can never guarantee stuff in business. You can never say like, oh, after like 143 emails, the next one's going to make, that deal and stuff like that. You just need to stay consistent. And it's like anything you do, like what you're saying, that one more day technique, like it works. And like we've seen members in our community before, like on the verge of giving up, but then like we're pushing them, like, don't give up, like keep going.
Yeah.
A few days later, I've just closed the B2B deal.
Yeah.
So it's like, did you see?
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
see
yeah.
that?
I'm sure he won't be annoyed that I mention him, but there's a member called Dale who's doing these weighing spoons, and really good idea. He literally approached so many companies, and so many companies like, that sounds amazing, send me a sample. He sent samples, branded, looks amazing. I think you've done the branding, Anna. And everyone was saying, this is amazing.
Yeah.
No one bought. No one bought. Okay, literally no one purchased. And I was scratching my head thinking, I've never had, and it's honest, a reaction. I've never had a reaction where so many people were wanting samples. They loved it, but just didn't buy. I've never had like almost, it was a ridiculous amount. Like every 100 emails, you'll get 20 replies saying samples. It's like non-existent how many people wanted it.
Yeah, yeah.
And we were like, for him, I was like, maybe we should just move on, because you got to know when to say no as well with business. That's one thing. A lot of people, yes men, and I've been guilty. Like, keep one more day. However, you do need to know, right? Actually, this is time. And we were like, okay, we moved on. We come up with another product. Literally, I think it was 3 days later, I got he messaged me and said, Alex, B&M just requested a sample
of the spoons.
Wow. And we'd given up. We'd moved on.
That's crazy.
And it's like, but that just shows you never know that email that could sometimes, and it's very different with B2B than B2C. B2B, everything's pipeline. Everything takes time, especially if it's a high ticket item. That sale could take 6 months, 12 months.
Yeah.
But the reward's obviously financially better for you. But it just shows that you can send one email, could be wrong time, wrong place, but they might be interested. They just haven't replied. That's why you send follow-ups. But it might be 3 months after they actually reply because it's the right time, or it might be the right quarter of the month where they've got profits they need to get rid of and all that malarkey. But it might be the case of you've that ship sailed, but it hasn't. And it's just all about that mentality.
It's just staying with it. And it's like we see similar stuff in B2C, like now and again you'll get the odd person that just wants, like, they've tried a few little bits, maybe they've ran ads for like a month, 2 months, and because they haven't got no results, in their head they've probably given themselves like a deadline. I need to get sales by this date, and because they haven't, their mindset is now thinking like, it's not working, I want to quit this. But when we try and keep people on track, like, you want to make sure that in an e-commerce business, you want to make sure that you've tried every single angle before you throw that towel in. So if you're doing B2C, you want to make sure that, you know, maybe you've redesigned your store, maybe you've touched on your branding a bit more, you've tried different products, you've tried different, you know, ads, different content and stuff like that. If you haven't done everything, I would not be chucking that towel in, because it's 100%. A case of seeing what's working to what's not working. And we've seen this in the past, like, you know, if people are struggling over X amount of time, they do one little change, whether it's in their store, in their ads, boom, they're now starting to see all the traction come through, everything like that. And like what you're saying, is similar to B2B. You know, keep going, that, because that one deal can change your life.
I've got a really good example. It is B2B, but a friend of mine has her own tan range, and she's had it for about 10 years. And I used to buy, she used to do my hair, so I know her through that. And I used to buy her tan, and I thought the branding was okay, the packaging. And she, when I last saw her, her brand is in all the super drugs across the world, and Beauty Bay online as well. And she totally redesigned her packaging and her branding. And when I spoke to her about, I said, "Oh, how did you get into Superdrug?" And she was like, "I've been trying to get in for 3 years.
Jesus.
I changed all my branding, I changed all my packaging, and literally they were like, yeah, we want it in." And it's like amazing. But that's an example. Like, she never gave up. She'd been trying for 3 years. She knew her tan, like, she had full confidence in the actual tan itself. And like, you can see on her customer reviews how good it is. And I've used it, it is good. But like, something wasn't clicking. So she was like, right, packaging. And it does, her packaging looks like 300 times better than it did, but it was still good, but it obviously wasn't good enough like to be on their shelves. So that's like a perfect example.
That's crazy.
I think that's going back to the topic we started off, making saving money is just as important, because you can reevaluate everything to do with your structure, to your business, whether it's your branding. Is your branding actually up to standard, or does it need rejigging? Or the customer, it could be as simple as the customer not usage, but, you know, how they see things. Is that set up correctly? The website, is it fully optimized? The marketing, I know you're doing paid ads, but could you collaborate with other brands? There's loads of things you can do that are not paid that potentially get you in there with PR. You could do PR. You could B2B. You could get yourself in high street stores to in that proposal, or like your friend done. It's a case of, well, I've got a good product, so I know I need to keep going. I just need to think, right, how do I basically go around the houses to get in there? And it could be anything, like you said there.
I think that's why with like members, when we initially talk to them and they're trying to choose a product, that's why I always say, like, obviously make sure you sample the product yourself. So you either, one, really believe in the product, so you know it's solving an issue, or that you do have a passion for it, because otherwise there's no way you're going to stick at something that could potentially take you years if you don't like the product, and you got to speak about it every day. You're going to actually hate it. So it is really important that, like, you either have that passion or you believe in the product.
Yeah, definitely.
Do not go on. Sorry,
I was just going to say, because with my friend, for example, if she didn't believe that her tan was worth it, I don't know if she'd have gone through all the hassle of a
100%.
rebrand.
And that's what I was going to mention.
She knew it was good.
There's so many ups and downs with business. Do not just go for the money alone. Just think, because I see it time and time again. Alex, what's going to make me the most money? You're looking at it the wrong way. You find something, like you said there, you either have a passion for, whether you know it inside out, whether you like it, you enjoy that, it's a hobby, whatever it is. Don't worry about the saturation of the market. There's always ways around that. If you enjoy something, you're always going to put more time and effort into it. And I had this with the travel business. If I would have known, and naivety is also a very good thing in business at the start, because it will carry you quite far. If I would have known in Bali, earthquakes, tsunamis, every sort of natural disaster, volcanoes could happen. Time difference, monkeys biting people. If I'd have known this before, I wouldn't have started. But because I was passionate about travel, because I was, you know, so like concentrated and focused on, this is going to work, because the first 6 months it didn't work. Even the first few tours didn't necessarily work. However, because I was so passionate about it, and you knew, you know, whether it's rebranding, whether it's trialing different marketing methods, whether it's utilizing different agencies, whatever that route is. If you're passionate about what you do, you're going to keep pushing and pushing.
Of course,
to drive the hunger.
It's key.
I think one thing that is key for people to take away from this podcast is like never quit. And I think like if you're somebody that wants more out of life, you're somebody that, you know, wants to make your family's life better and stuff like that, if you're going to consider at any point to quit, you're going back to that same life.
Yeah.
Like
you're
you're here to progress, you're here to make a change, to make it happen essentially. Guys, just want to say a massive thank you for doing this podcast. It's been wicked, some cool stuff to talk about there.
Enjoyed that one.
So it's really good, really good.
Really
So
good.
look forward to the next one.